morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. You are listening to BoqueteNOW Talk Radio on Radio Cherokee 103.3 FM. Sponsored by Big Daddy's Grill and ACCB in Boquete. If you don't know who the ACCB is, well, guess what? We have Marc Rosen with us today, who just so coincidentally happened to show up. No, he was scheduled. Who represents the ACCB, and boy, it's been busy. We were just talking about that before the show. How it's been so busy for you guys, and I want to talk about a few things, but I know that there's some public service announcements that we need to make for Mort's Bakehouse.
Okay. Well, first of all, we brought you your bagel because yes. I know if I show up without my bagel, you don't turn my microphone on.
I see. You're on the video. This is yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. So we want to let everybody know that as of 4:00 today, we're closed for 1 week for Passover.
Right.
So if anybody needs anything, make sure you come on down today. Come early. All of our stuff we freeze, and then the other thing, you can freeze at home. I'm sorry. And the other thing that we have that nobody else has, and I know Easter's coming up next week, we have the puff pastry. Ooh. And everybody's makes, pies and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So if you, and we keep it in the freezer, and you can keep it in the freezer at home. So if you need puff pastry, come to the bakery today and get it, because otherwise you won't be able to get it.
Before 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And everything is, of course, kosher.
Exactly, right.
Fantastic.
And then we'll close today, and we'll open up again on Monday. I think it's the 5th.
Well, when the show's over, get in the car, on the bus, get a cab, go down to Mort's.
Yeah, for all the listeners, we're not open till 11.
Well, okay. See, there you go. I like that. See, this is why we keep having you back on the show. One other thing I want to point out is this Sunday at noon in El Plaza, in the park downtown Boquete, is the inaugural launch of the Boquete Community Jazz Band. It's going to be a great show, great afternoon, a lot of fun. There's no charge, but there will be a tip jar, and the tips go to charity. So there's none of this administration thing. Everyone's volunteering. It's a complete volunteer thing, and like I said, proceeds go to charity. So please, Sunday at noon, get down there to the park. Get there a little early, and all Mensa rules going to be followed and all that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know that Mike Schwartz and James Kent and the guys have been working on this a lot, to get this thing through. And the mayor is behind it 100%. So this is an official, I guess, as you can get, outdoor festival, right? We haven't had one of those in a while, right?
And we went and listened to them at Tap Out last week.
Mm-hmm.
They were phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
And from what I understand is they've added a saxophone player.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be something else.
Yeah.
And They had just came from the rehearsal yesterday, and they were so pumped up. They said that the sound is just really good. So I think everybody will enjoy themselves. And they also said make sure you bring a chair.
Yes, that's right. There's not going to be much seating there. There's the benches,
right?
But because of the you're not going to be able to sit next to people unless I guess maybe they're in your bubble. But definitely bring chairs, and no. Let's see. I can't remember how to pronounce that word. Vuvuzelas? No vuvuzelas are allowed.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
It's a plastic horn that's real popular at soccer games or football games.
Like an air horn.
Yeah, but you blow through it.
Yeah.
Just think of it as a plastic shofar that's really annoying.
Duck call.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a really good show. Like Marc said, they go by the name, what is it?
Cafe con Leche.
Cafe con Leche, and that is Rhodey Edwards on keyboards, Mike Schwartz on drums, James Kent on bass. They'll call by saxophone, that's the guy. Alexander Del Cid on guitar, and Dan Angelis on percussion and singing. Got Katie Murphy, Michael Halpern, who's a real treat, by the way.
He is.
And of course, everyone's favorite, Nicole Hart.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be a great show.
Quite a lineup.
It is. All right. So we were talking a couple weeks ago. You were on the show, and as I was posting the video onto the BoqueteNOW YouTube channel, I realized that in between the last show and now, not only was the duck race, we're going to get to that, but I wanted to ask you, how did bingo go? It hadn't been there for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
the people that were there loved it. They finally got out of the house.
Yeah, right.
You know, so we had to do a little bit of extra moving tables around,
Sure.
you know, for Mensa.
Yeah.
A couple times we had to, you know, ask people to put their mask on because when you start eating, you forget and leave it down.
Yeah.
But everybody complied, and it was a good turnout.
Great.
And everybody was so excited about it that we just really had fun, and everything went smoothly, and the charity made a little bit of money.
Cool.
And all the winners were happy, and all the people that weren't were happy. And the only difference was, as far as if they were drinking, they had to order an appetizer.
Well, yeah.
With the new rules.
Mensa regulations, if you have to serve food with alcohol.
Right.
Until they open up the bars and, as they say, the discos.
Yeah.
So that's really, really great. And that's at La Posada, right?
La Posada on every other Tuesday
Every
night,
other
and then along with that, I think we touched basis on it last time that ACCB is taking over trivia.
That was my very next question. You're reading my mind here. It must be the gray in our beards.
That's right.
I wanted to ask you about that because I know that a lot of people really were enjoying
Yeah.
you know, the trivia when it was over at the skate thing, and then it was over at Tap Out for a little bit, I think, right?
It was for a short time, yeah.
So tell us what's
so
what's
that'll
going on
be
with that?
the other Tuesday night.
Huh?
We're still in the planning stages because we don't want to open it up until we know what we're doing.
Sure, yeah.
So one of the problems is logistically getting everybody in there because of the table spacing.
Right.
Bingo, we get 40 to 60 people.
Yeah, it's
they
a big
might
room.
they might get 100.
Yeah.
At 100, we have some spacing problems.
Yeah.
The second thing is we have all the tools and we have all the information. There's a lot that goes into it with those trivia questions.
Sure, yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, I know I've done trivia. I
yeah.
know it's a process to get the whole thing set up.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, the bingo. Once we got the machine and once we got the paper, it's a one-man band thing. It's easy.
Yeah.
Trivia, you have to have questions every week. There's some real commitments to, get the right questions and good questions and how it exactly works. So we're diligently working on it, and we're actually looking for a couple volunteers that have played trivia the whole time or whatever that would like to help us.
Sure.
Even if it's just for the first couple months to know that we're doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
And Leslie has very graciously offered to help us also run the event.
If anyone knows how to run trivia,
yeah.
right?
But the biggest thing is we need somebody that's willing to spend a few hours a week with the questions.
Yeah.
That's the toughest part. So we might be April, we might be May, but it's in the works. So we're trying to get all the logistics out, and we hope that Mensa starts increasing numbers even more.
Yeah.
Because that's another issue.
Well, yeah, I mean, and they have slowly been doing that. I remember they started off, it was like 25%, then they went up to 50%. So maybe they'll kick it up a little bit. I know our numbers have been improving.
Right. Yes.
I know some days it's a little more, a little less, but if you look at the trend over the last, month, it's been the new cases are going down and the mortality is going down. So hopefully, everyone's been looking forward to. Trivia is real popular here.
Yeah, and they were times they would get over 100 people.
Yeah, I've been down there a couple of times. It's a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun. I wanted to ask you with bingo and with the trivia. I know that they have to serve food with alcohol. They got a decent menu there. I mean, is it
La Posada
Posadas, I know, it's fantastic.
He's got good food.
So he's got his normal lunch and dinner. Right. Oh, that's great.
And I think
great pizza.
I'm pretty sure, not 100%, but pretty sure, that if somebody sits down and they order the big nachos, and if 2 or 3 people are eating it, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Because they're all eating.
Well, yeah. It's
I don't think each person has to order. So I mean, there's ways to where it's not real expensive to share and get through with this. But their food is excellent.
It is very good. That's Day and I go there whenever we can get out. Whenever we go out, that's one of the bars. We have a list of places. Like on my lunch list is always Marc's, right?
Right.
So
and they're very accommodating to us. They help us. Because we video the bingo game as far as the ball showing up on the monitors.
Oh,
I mean, it's
cool.
just like in the United States.
I
It goes from
realize that.
on that big screen they have in the back. every ball that's called, the patterns, everything's up there.
Oh wow.
Arturo set that up on my computer for me.
Cool.
And so it's just like playing in the States. And we have the paper that we play on is from the States.
Yeah.
It's real bingo.
Wow.
So everybody really enjoys it.
That's very cool. So I heard a rumor that some days ago there was a mass migration of little yellow ducks with balloons tied to them coming down the river. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night dreaming about those ducks going down the river.
Yes, the duck race.
Yes.
That was a pretty big event.
Yeah, and it was our first time doing it. So we made lots of mistakes, growing pains, as they say.
Yeah.
Anything that could go wrong did,
As it is wont to do.
and yet the people and we thought we weren't going to have power that day because that's what they had advertised.
Yeah.
And the weather was not good. It was raining.
Yeah.
So, but the people that were there had a blast, and we had one TV working that was filming, that was showing the filming of the duck race, and everybody was standing around yelling, "Go red, go!" because they had balloon colors. And you could see the balloon more than you could see the duck, and they were yelling and carrying on and having a good time.
Oh wow.
And when all was said and done, with every single thing that could go wrong, the charity still netted about $600 to $700.
Fantastic.
So
yeah.
it pays for the Easter eggs. That was one of the things we're going to talk about today
definitely
too.
want to get to that. Absolutely.
But it was the volunteers came out of the woodwork again. It was amazing.
Don't you love this community?
Mona Lisa was in charge of the balloons, and her husband, and they had a full crew, and they would march the balloons and the ducks like when you go to a dog track, how they go around the track before they put them into the cage.
Yeah.
So they're walking around tap out with the balloons, making noise, carrying on, and then they so instead of having 5 races, we had 2 preliminary races. There were 40 ducks in each race.
Wow.
So we had 2 preliminary races, and then the top 2 ducks had a runoff.
Oh, there was a runoff.
And our winner of the grand prize was Michael Halpern. Yeah.
What was the grand prize? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was. Well, the winners of the 2-leg each got their $10 back.
Right.
That was the entry fee.
Okay.
And the winner won, in this particular case, $80. So
wow.
Halpern got $90.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
good.
It was just really, really fun.
I remember the picture that you guys posted on Facebook. It was a faraway shot of the bridge, and all you saw were balloons with little yellow dots attached to them. Yeah, that
so
was fun.
our game plan going forward is July 4th.
Yeah.
We're doing it again.
Cool.
We are attempting to get bigger ducks. And we're trying to get the ones that are weighted where they won't turn on their side.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because we bought the real little tiny ones, and the balloons are what actually kept them straight up.
Yeah.
But if you get the ones that don't tilt, then you got more options, and if they're bigger, you can use different balloons, so on and so
put
forth.
a little motor in one of them.
Yeah, that's only
No
on
cheating.
the one you bet on.
No
Yeah,
cheating.
yeah,
No cheating. But it can be done.
And then we also thought we were limited. We were limited on how much per race everybody could bet because there was only one person per duck.
Right.
So one of the things we're thinking about now, and I think it's going to be a great idea, is we're going to have two betting procedures on each duck. So in other words, 2 different pots.
Right.
There's going to be the normal pot, and then there's going to be the high dollar pot.
Okay.
So let's say we were selling the ducks for $10. Anybody want to buy some vegetables?
Yeah,
There it is. Okay. The normal regular one was $10 a duck,
Right.
and you got 10% of however many we sold. We're thinking about now doing a second bet on each race of either $25 or $50 a duck.
That's big time.
Now it's big time because you're going to win maybe $250 to $300.
Wow.
And there's people here that like to gamble and
Sure.
can do that, and the fact that every penny goes to charity.
Charity, yeah. That's
So
what it is.
that's the main thing.
Yeah.
So because some people wanted to buy more ducks and we were out, we couldn't.
Oh.
So I said growing pains.
Yeah.
And we actually had a meeting this week and we wrote down all of our good points and all of our bad points and what to correct. So July 4th is our next big date for us trying to do it again.
Yeah.
A little bit smarter.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
That's
and you know how people like to bet on things.
Right.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be like side bets going on. Like,
And,
you know, let's see. I'll bet
yeah.
you $10 that the blue balloon will wrap around the yellow balloon.
Well,
you know,
people
and-
can do that themselves.
Yeah.
We can't because
Well-
that's a bookkeeping nightmare.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It's also a bookie night.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, the bookies only take 10%. We're taking it all. So-
Yeah, that's
But,
fair.
yeah. And then unfortunately, because we tried so hard, but a couple ducks got biased down the river because we didn't want plastic ducks running down
Yeah,
the river.
yeah.
But with the wind and the rain, and I mean,
Sure.
again, another learning experience.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out a better way to stop the ducks.
Yeah, maybe some netting. you
Yeah,
know,
well, that's we're going to
there's-
get more netting. We had a net, but it wasn't big enough, and
Right.
and then we're also going to try to change the way we dump them into the river to try to make it. We were dumping them out of a sheet,
Oh,
so we're thinking about like a dog race stall where they're all in a slot, and we
Oh,
lift
yeah.
up the slot
Well,
because
that
we're
would
going to
work.
cut back to 20 ducks a race.
Okay.
Have more races.
yeah.
20 ducks instead of 40. 40 was too many. So I said yesterday, I have a great fundraiser we could do right now, and that's a duck hunt. Anybody that can find the few that got away, there's somewhere between here and David.
Somewhere. Yeah. I found it in Boca Brava on the beach. Yeah. You know that release thing. You know, you could just basically get a you know, a 1 by maybe a 1 by 8 or 1 by 12. Maybe 8 feet across, 6 feet across, and then get 2 side pieces that
Yeah.
are on an angle. Just have someone stand in the river and hold it. Just pick it up.
Yeah,
That's-
it's
low
not
tech.
Too, yeah, it's not
low
too
tech.
difficult.
Yeah.
Again, these are things we
Yeah.
realized after we did it and saw what caused this to happen and that. So, because less ducks will be less entanglement too, which is good.
Well, yeah.
I mean, but even at a regular dog race, sometimes the first dog makes a turn and wipes out 5 other dogs, you know, so that's why it's called a race. But
Yeah, like
it works.
NASCAR, right?
Yeah.
You know, someone wrecks on the restart and like 30 cars get taken
Right.
out.
And we'll also do more of the pre-bedding. Somebody came up to us and asked if we could do it, and we did the Tuesday market, and but we'll do 2 or 3 Tuesday markets, and
Sure.
and maybe in front of Big Daddy's one day,
Yeah.
to allow more people to come in and make bets, because there wasn't enough time from the 1:30 to the 2, and if they couldn't make it, they
Yeah.
couldn't get in. So, again, learning
Yeah.
curve.
Well, you know, this. I remember, you know, when we lived in Atlanta in the suburbs over there, they had similar events, right? They except this was with dragon boats. It was all.
Dragon boats are fun.
And, you know, they had started that many years ago, just pretty much as a, hey, let's try this. And from what I remember from them telling me, the first one didn't go well, it was a disaster. But after 2 or 3 times, they got their system down, and it was so popular, they ended up doing it just about every month.
Yeah.
And every month was a success. It just, people kind of it turned into a social event, not just, you know, just a charity fundraiser. And you know, there were people started decorating their boats, you know, with all. And I can just imagine you get a little bigger ducks, be like, you know, the races. You know, you put your sponsor on it.
Yeah.
You know, put a little Big Daddy sticker on there, or a little Mort's Bakehouse sticker on there. But no, that sounds to me like, you know, that's got a you know, a future to get some legs going. You know, to where you can make that maybe a regular or semi-regular thing.
One thing you said just reminded me. Some people said, how about when they buy the duck, that they get a minute to go in and write their name on the balloon.
Sure.
Their
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
So they can look for their name going down the river. Little things like that
Yeah.
that we're going to,
Yeah.
you know,
That'd be cool.
work on and get done.
Now I know that we got Easter coming up, and I know that you got something pretty big planned. And I know that when I ran into you and Linda at Mort's was it last week, that Linda was going to try to get here today. I know she really wanted to be here. She's well, she got something going on.
They're working on painting Easter eggs.
Oh yeah, right. That's
what they're doing
Easter
today.
eggs. So she wanted to be here, and Linda, we understand. Anytime you want to come on the show, you're always welcome here.
She wrote me a little note. Can I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Linda sends her apologies for not being on the show this morning, but she is at Mona Lisa's with some awesome volunteers to decorate 600 to 700 hard-boiled eggs. And that number actually was 720, which, by the way, were cooked at Mort's Bakery yesterday. Thanks to the ladies who cooked them. Hey, she forgot to thank me. Thanks to the ladies who cooked them, and a special thanks to the rabbi for letting us use the bakery. Thank you, Rabbi. So the rabbi actually overheard us talking that we were going to do 600 hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it would take somebody at a regular stove to do 600 hard-boiled eggs?
More time than I'd be willing to put in.
I mean, you're talking probably a couple days.
Yeah, at least.
So the rabbi said, if you come in the afternoon after we baked, the girls are done with their cooking and stuff, use us, and we have the great big bowls where we boil the bagels before we bake them.
Sure, yeah.
So we had one. So Dina and I actually did most of them. We started at 9 in the morning, and at 2 o'clock that afternoon we were done. We did 41 in the big bowl and 21 in the little bowl. So we were doing 62 at a time. But it takes 18 to 20 minutes to do them and unpack them and pack them. But so we did
you got that done in one day.
We did 720 eggs, and I wish I knew the name of the farm that they came from. I thought the invoice looked like it said K&H or something like that. It's up in the hill somewhere. Yeah. And they gave us a great price. Wow. They knew what it was for 720. I thought we were getting 600. It was 720 eggs. It's a lot of eggs.
Wow, that's
So today, Linda and Mona Lisa and a group of ladies are at Mona Lisa's house, and today they are painting all the eggs.
Each individual egg.
And then the other thing is, too, the eggs have to stay refrigerated. So when they got picked up yesterday from the bakery, they went to 2 or 3 people's houses that have space to keep them refrigerated.
Yeah, you need a freezer for that.
Yeah. So today they're painting, and tomorrow they need volunteers. And what they're doing tomorrow at the Boquete Country Club,
right,
in the clubhouse there,
yeah,
is they are going to take all the donated individually wrapped candy, toys, cookies, colored plastic eggs, clothes for children 3 or younger, any wrapped candy that they've asked all these people to bring, and you can still bring that tomorrow if you want. And it's from 11 to 2. And if you need more information, I'll read Linda's number now, and then I'll read it again near the end if somebody wants to grab a pencil. It's 6716-1151. I think that's right. Yeah, 1151. Yeah. And they are going to bag. We bought 600 Easter bags down in Deauville. So there are going to be at least 600 Easter bags filled with all these different things. So they need help for tomorrow from 11 to 2 for that. That's a tough job.
And that's, again, wrap candy, clothes for children, plastic Easter eggs.
Right. Anything you would put in an Easter egg, in an Easter basket.
Yeah.
And
obviously you don't want to put like chocolate bunnies in there.
No.
Non-perishable.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then they'll do that on Saturday, and then Monday, it's almost a repeat of what we did with our cookies at Christmas. If you remember, we baked 600 cookies, and we ended up with like 3,000 cookies. And the bus driver delivered them with Mona Lisa on board, and I think there were 4 or 5 people that went on the bus. They go up to the Comarca,
the Comarcas,
and on Monday, and they will deliver all these Easter baskets. So they're getting them a week early, but I don't think these kids care.
I don't think they get many complaints.
Yeah. So we're going to make at least 600 children happy.
Wow.
And I had posted something yesterday of a picture of me and a couple of the kids at the bakery doing the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And what I said in my post was, this is why I love Boquete.
Yeah.
We have a Jewish rabbi that offered his bakery to help bake Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And we got all these volunteers coming over to paint Easter eggs and to deliver Easter eggs, and to children that we have never met.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Boquete.
Yeah, it's, you know, this community never fails to amaze me when it comes to their generosity, and when it comes to their willingness to give it their time. You know, it's not just the money, which is appreciated, obviously, but time is precious. You know, when you take that time and you donate it to something as important, as this. It's a reflection on the whole town, on the whole district. It's just fantastic. Yeah,
the people come out of the woodwork. And Linda just reminded me too that the directions and the time and all that stuff is on our Facebook page, and so it's ACCB's Facebook page as well as some of the community groups.
And I'll post that in my when I post the video to the show later this weekend. I'll put all that information in there too.
Perfect.
As well. Yeah. Yeah, the country club, by the way, just turn right at San Francisco Plaza, go up, a kilometer, I think.
Yeah.
It's up on the lake. You can't miss this giant arch. It's a huge arch, and it says country club.
Right, and I think when you go in, you turn right, and it
Yeah,
takes
you
you right to
go
it.
in, make your first right, and just keep going until you see the clubhouse at the bottom of the hill. It's a very nice, facility there.
Yeah.
I've used that gym, and we've rented out that space for birthday parties and whatnot.
Yeah,
in the past.
it's a nice little facility.
Yeah, it is. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Pool's kind of chilly, but we won't go there. But that's really, really, you just pointed out something that reminded me of just how well this community works together. When you mentioned this, a Jewish rabbi is letting a kosher bakery do this Easter celebration. It just goes to show you that it doesn't need to be any of the animosity and it's everyone. Why can't we just get along, right?
Right,
Why can't we
exactly.
just get along? And this is a really, really great event, very, very wonderful fundraiser, and these kids, I've got some experience in making little kids happy around here, and it feels really good, when you see it's the appreciation, but it's also the wonder, and just the look on their faces.
Yep.
It makes everything you do worth it. Organizing things like this isn't all fun and games. There's frustrations, there's a lot of work, but the end result is really, it warms your heart.
And everybody could have used the excuse, which a lot of people do. Well, with COVID, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
We can't go out of the house. We can't do this, can't do that. And yet here we have a totally different approach, and so many volunteers come out, and so many people help that it's just amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're listening and you're not really familiar with the ACCB, we won't be too hard on you. It's a family show. But they've been around for quite a while, and the contributions that are made to this community through ACCB directly or through, as I've said a million times, the other charities that the ACCB contributes to. You guys got a pretty wide reach here, and when you look at all of it, there's a lot of need here, and we don't never want to go into a situation trying to change a culture, trying to change a tradition or anything. And I think that's one of the things from talking to you and talking to Joe and talking to Linda over the last 2 years that you guys been on the show on and off and other conversations, is that everything that you do, everything that the ACCB does, doesn't infringe on that. There's no trying to make it here like we know from there, right? And I think that is really, really an important aspect of how a charity is run in what to us is a foreign country, just to keep everything the way it is, to preserve, their traditions and their cultural the ways of doing things. And you guys have always, prioritized that, and I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I was really impressed at the duck race how many volunteers we had.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean, and it took a lot of volunteers, and I saw more blue shirts, our blue uniform shirts, than I've seen at a function in a long time. And I mean, it's just such a good cause, and everybody just came together for it, so it was really good.
And all right, and before we get on to the next thing, what's the process, I guess, for the lack of a better word, or I guess the process, if somebody was interested in joining the ACCB?
It's really simple, really simple, and actually, and it should be finalized this week. We have our first 2 corporate members.
Oh,
so we have some corporations now that are taking an interest in us, and on a small scale, and we're going to work on that to build up, because that's always good to have. Also,
absolutely.
So the membership we have, our meetings are the second Wednesday of every month.
Okay.
We meet at Stone Cabins,
Casa
Vieja.
Yep.
We meet in the back. We have lunch from 11 to 12, and the meeting is from 12 to 1, and we're very prompt. At 1 o'clock, the meeting's over. We don't want to keep people for hours on a time.
Sure.
We usually have some type of a guest speaker. Last week it was so interesting, or last month, Gilda from Multibank.
Oh yeah,
the supervisor Multibank.
Sure.
She came, and a lot of times when you have a speaker, you have private conversations going on here and there.
Yeah.
You could have heard a pin drop when she was talking, because she was talking about how to open an account here, how to make bank transfers, which we all do, what not to do, what to do, what to look for in different banks. I mean, she was amazing.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that 2 or 3 of our members went to her bank the next day and opened accounts.
Yeah. Well, it's I mean, due to circumstances in the geopolitical world, banking here is not easy for foreigners. And on the one hand, you understand. They're trying to protect their reputation. They're trying to get that whole tax haven thing. Excuse me. It's not COVID. But there are extra steps here, and there are extra procedures that you have to go through. And if you look through the local, Boquete community group, Boquete News, expats and all that, it seems like everyone has a different take on what you need, to open up an account. Some say, you got to put $1,000, $5,000, $250, $50. You need this, you need that, you need this from your bank. And if you're looking to open up an account here, it can be very daunting if you go on to social media and start asking, hey, how do I do this? I know a lot of people mean well, but everyone's circumstance is different. So I would imagine that was a very, very popular guest.
And the 2 or 3 people that they opened accounts had been having trouble for the last 2 months getting an account. Yeah. And once she clarified everything, it was easy.
And most people get hung up on the reference letter.
Yeah, from your bank.
From your bank, and a lot of banks in the States don't do that. And maybe at one point, long ago when they had, passbook accounts, when you knew your banker and all that. But that's a sticking point for a lot of people. In fact, I might get a hold of her a little bit later.
She's a wealth of information. I know when I came down there 3.5 years ago, the same thing. My bank in the States, I had something in Spanish that I was trying to do everything before I came down here.
Right.
And my bank would not notarize my signature even on it because it was a document from another bank.
I mean,
so that's the things you're into. Yeah. So back to our membership, we also have probably the cheapest dues of anybody. We charge $30 a year. A year. And then we'd have a one-time charge of $11, which gets you a shirt with your name on it.
Right.
Because at our age, we need our names on our shirts.
Yeah, that's how my wife finds me.
Yeah, that's right. So really inexpensive, because we're not looking for our membership to be our source of income.
Sure. Yeah.
We're looking for our membership to be working bees, or whatever the right term is.
Yeah.
It's the first hour is social once a month. Sure. We eat and visit, but we're here to raise money.
Yeah.
You know, and to do things with it. So that's the type of membership we're looking for. If you're active and you want to do stuff and be part of it, then please come down, and you can get all the information again on the Facebook page, and there's Linda's number and my number on there.
One very important question. These T-shirts, these polo shirts, I see them. They're very nice. They're collared button, 3-button polo shirts, or 2 or 3-button. They're very nice. When you give them your size, now is that like North American sizes, or is that Central American? Because I know that when I buy a shirt here, I got to get a 3X.
Yeah.
Like I'm 180 pounds. I wear a medium. Right?
I have the same problem. Yeah. They run a little small, but not like when you would go into one of the stores in David and your 2XL is for a guy that weighs 120 pounds.
Right. Yeah.
So
if you were a North American medium, a large probably would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like you, I like a 3XL, and I got a 2XL, and it was a little tight,
snug. Yeah. They're nice shirts too. They're very well made.
Yes.
They're not. I know sometimes you get these. The threading comes out and they start to fall apart. And I know people who have had theirs for quite a while and they're holding up really well.
No, the shirts are really nice.
Plus, it's a nice way to promote the charity.
Right.
You wear it around town. Go when you go out to eat. Whatever, do that. But,
and we have a new addition to our organization.
Oh,
too.
pray tell.
We now have one of those 6-foot roll-up signs.
Like that one?
Yep, exactly like that one. Except ours is prettier, but
yeah. It's really weird when you say that one and point and you're on the radio. But there'll be a video for this, and
so we finally have that we can, stand up when we do things, so people know, because it's really, and ours shows some of the stuff that we have done, some of the stuff we are doing, and so it was really good.
I've only seen that when it was in its case when I went by the bakery. I didn't get a chance to see the.
It came out really nice.
Yeah, those are nice though. I mean, it gives someone an opportunity to give a little snapshot, of what you're doing, and I guess that'll be used at the market, Tuesday market, and whatnot.
Yeah, wherever we go, it goes with us.
Do you have one for the bakery?
No, because it's not the bakery.
No, I mean,
Oh, do we have one? No, we do not. Because we really don't. The only place we go is to the Tuesday market, other than the bakery itself.
Yeah.
And Marc Heyer.
Yeah.
I love Marc. About 3 years ago, I had made a little laminated sign that said Morton's. And he walked up to the table and he goes, "That is ugly." And the next week, he showed up with a wood.
Oh yeah,
plaque.
That man has got some talent in his bones.
And he wouldn't take any money for it, and it's beautiful, and it says Morton. So that's our kind of centerpiece on our table. So we use that.
Wow, that's And by the way, if you haven't been over to the bakehouse since they've moved, that's really impressive over there.
It's been a great move. It's cool. It's comfortable. People are eating in. It's 3 times the size.
Yeah, and you could actually get to the bathroom without walking through the kitchen. Through the kitchen.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. Yeah.
No, it's in the same place, but it's at the corner there.
Right.
There used to be a church there, I think.
Exactly.
A little church there, but that's nice. Kudos.
And we got high ceilings.
Yeah.
And we have ventilation from 3 sides. Lots of windows.
Yeah.
And we just hung. We were known before in the middle too with our blue door. We had that bright blue screen door.
Yeah.
So we just made it brand new because the door's twice as wide now.
Right. Yeah.
So we have a brand new blue screen door, so you can look for the blue door.
And
you can see it from you can see it from the street. I mean, it really sticks out.
Can you see it from space though?
Maybe one of those commercials. Are you seeing what I see?
What is that? What is that? But it's always good to come down there.
Yep.
And. I mean, not just for the food, but when I go down there, you're there, we get to chit-chat.
Yeah,
and, that's really the only time I get to see you, it's either there or here. So, it's great. And in case you're wondering, the ACCB is one of the sponsors of this program, and we've dedicated the last Friday of every month for the ACCB. That's how much they have going on. It's never boring. There's always something coming up the next month, and this will give you an opportunity, whether you are a member or not. It's a good outlet to find out what's going on, And the shows are always recorded, so they could always go back to the YouTube channel if they want and get the information. But
And that's a great segue into what we have coming up.
Well, how about we talk about that?
Well, first of all, we are always looking, for used smartphones.
Right.
The students, and you're probably much better at this than me, the knowledge of it, but the students need it for their homework.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the computers, or they don't have the connections or whatever.
Yeah.
And these used smartphones allow them to do their homework.
Right.
So we've had a couple drives where we've gotten some phones.
Yeah.
But we are always looking for phones.
Yeah.
And somebody can get a hold of me or Linda, drop them off at the Tuesday market if they want. We'll take them from you, make sure they get to the right place.
That's very important.
Yeah, it's really important.
Especially, I mean, it's always important to, for our students here to be able to complete their assignments. But now, especially, with the pandemic and the schools are closed, a lot of times those devices are also used for just regular school. And I've had several different people on the show over the last year that we've been in this situation that is somehow connected to either Meduca or one of the other charities, and they said, if a student stays out of school or away from the educational process long enough, they'll never go back. They won't go back. They'll end up, and I know, it's kind of a weird balancing act, because a lot of the families, they need their families to work on their farms, but at the same token, they're not going to be able to advance, themselves without, a good education. These smartphones and tablets and whatever, I can't overstate enough how important this is, for these kids. If you have an old phone or an old tablet, even if you're not sure if it works, well, or if it'll do, if you're not a technical person, drop it off anyway. Chances are there's someone that could. I think I've done a couple for you guys. Right. That can get these working, because without the access for these students to be able to complete their work, they're not going to get the education that they deserve and that they need, and that's not helping anybody.
Exactly.
So
that's an ongoing one for us.
Right.
That's just always. So. Oktoberfest, which we started. Joe told me the other day that the mayor was kind of hoping that we would have it this year.
Yeah.
Again, who knows? So we're double planning, I guess you would say it.
Sure.
If we don't have Oktoberfest, or even if we do, we're going to do a Spring Fest in 2022.
Cool. Like a backup Oktoberfest.
Huh? Yes. and there's lots of good things about Springfest versus Oktoberfest. Number one, the weather.
Well, yeah. Not that it rains at all here in October.
Yeah. So that's always been a big issue. So that's one of the things that's in works with us, is to get Oktoberfest either back or replaced with Springfest. And
well, it's good that the mayor's behind that.
Yeah.
Oktoberfest has been a tradition here for a while.
Yeah.
Now, when I got here in 2018, it was in April, and I went to the Oktoberfest that year. In fact, I did security with Ken and Mike Schwartz and all those guys, and we had a great time. Everyone had a great time, and then the next year was even bigger. And of course, now this year, last year was a wash.
Yeah.
But we really hope that will be great. If that can happen. I know that there's a lot of circumstances, and we're kind of relying on what Minsa's going to do, but that would be, God, that would be fantastic. That would be great.
And we also have to make sure that the people are willing to come out.
Yeah.
Well, we're working on it.
There's beer.
Yeah.
People will come out. If you pour it, they will drink.
That's right. So. And then we're also looking forward to whenever Tap Out gets the theater redone.
Right, yeah.
To start doing some stuff in there.
Because you guys have taken over that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we took it over, but then we gave it back to Chris because Mensa closed it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So it's Chris's at this point.
Yeah.
And we'll either participate in doing things there or or if it works out after everything's open, they want us to take it over. Well,
Sure.
we don't know how that's going to wash
That's
yet.
kind of fluid.
Yeah, it's but right now it's Chris's.
Yeah.
Deal
Well,
to get
Chris
done.
has he came on the show actually because there were some people were wondering, well, is the theater closed? Is there going to be any more shows there? And Chris was very clear. He came on the show and said, no, that the theater is going to be the theater. And we're all looking forward to that. You remember the plays and the music
Right.
review? I mean, that those were always very, very, very popular.
Yeah,
So
I
we
had
like-
breakfast yesterday with Mike Hill and Mike Schwartz. And
Yeah.
they're foaming at the mouth to get
I
this
know,
thing open
God, I
because they
know,
want
right?
to do their plays. You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of I mean, it's work. I was in 2 or 3 of those. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3, but it was a lot. It was a good time. We had a good time putting the show together, and the people who came to see the show. If you remember the last music review that they did, they had to add days. They had to add, I mean, this is a small little town. You got to add dates. That's how popular it was, and it was a good time. So yeah, we really hope that comes back too.
Yep. And everything that we do, we're going to try to plan a poker run again. We did a poker run a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think that was actually before I came down here. We're always looking for different things to do.
Yeah.
Anything that we can do that will raise money to provide food,
Yeah.
we're in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, as you said, we started with our mission at first was the police, fire,
Yeah.
EMTs, and we did a lot of stuff with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then it branched out to helping all the other charities.
Sure.
And this year, there's been a lot of focus on the children,
Yeah.
which, because of the weather and what happened up in Sarapunta and all this.
It's, man, it's like a double, triple, quadruple whammies.
Yeah.
I mean, they're resilient communities, but yeah, that back end of Hurricane Eta wiped out a lot of farms, a lot of businesses, loss of life. Yeah, that's
So we're trying to prioritize where we spend our money. And that we lost a police officer.
Yeah,
And so
that
we
was
have a
sad,
memorial
yeah.
fund.
Yeah, how does that work?
So we have a designated amount of what's called our memorial fund. It's money that's put away just for a police officer or fireman or EMT that gets hurt or, God forbid, killed.
Yeah.
Help the family out a little bit. So
Yeah.
that those are designated dollars that we just don't touch unless it goes to that place.
I think ACCB really is the only one who has that.
Yeah, like I said, we started as just basically working with the fire police, and then we did a refrigerator, we did a stove.
It's at the checkpoint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and one's there, and one's at the police station. I think it was the
Oh.
washing machine was at the police station.
Cool.
We were doing hot dogs on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. This year it got canceled
Yeah.
because of everything going on.
Yeah.
So we try to do everything that we can do, but we have a good time. It's a good group of people. We have a good time doing it, and the cause is great. And like I said, it just warms your heart when all these people come out to help.
Yeah.
That's the biggie.
Well, it's like I can't say it enough. This community is big care, big heart. There's a need, they come out, and the ACCB enjoys a very good reputation of being an organization that has a high level of integrity and trustworthiness. So you combine that with the generosity, the general generosity of this community. It's nice to see. It doesn't surprise me though. It doesn't surprise me at all. Particularly with the ACCB, when you get things that, especially with children, with our first responders, with our emergency services people. We rely on those guys and ladies, and it's nice to know that if something happens, that they have at least that available to help them out.
Another perfect example is Frank Lugo.
Yeah.
know, we
He's
had-
is he missed or what? Man? Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, and we had a benefit for 3 hours at Big Daddy's for him. And we raised enough to pay his entire medical bill at the hospital and the funeral home and the cremation and everything, and give the family a few $100
Sure.
in 3 hours.
Wow.
People, and it wasn't just our members, it was
Yeah.
the whole community.
Yeah.
And some people, because I was working the door, some people knew Frank and some didn't.
Yeah. Yeah,
but they
well,
knew about him.
They knew about him, yeah.
And in 3 hours to raise that kind of money.
And that, I tell you what, that's one of the we've had, and I know you guys have worked hand in hand on several occasions with Health and Hospice, and we've had them on the show with their program on what to do. If you're an expat and you should pass away here, and one of the big things is you need money. You need this. It ain't cheap to die here if you're an expat, and to have that in 3 hours, to have all of that's a huge weight off of that family. That's wonderful. We got like 3-4 minutes left, so you want to do some recap? Is there something you want to
make sure so we got 3 or 4 minutes. In 5 minutes, get in your car, drive over to Mort's, get your puff pastry if you're baking next week, because that makes life so much easier when you're baking those pies.
I know in 9 minutes I'll be eating this.
In 9 minutes you'll be eating your thing. And we close today at 4. We're sorry for the inconvenience to everybody that we won't be there next week. We've had several customers come in and buy a week's worth of stuff and put it in their freezer because everything freezes really well. Yeah. So we're glad for that, and we do want to wish everybody a happy Easter
and Passover,
because we won't be back before then.
Sure.
And just please come join our organization.
And when's the next meeting?
Next meeting will be it's the second Wednesday. Let me give you an exact date.
I'm pretending to do the math in my head.
This March, so April. It's going to be April, the 14th.
The 14th.
Because the first one is the 31st. So April 14th. So get all your taxes done, and then
the day before
come to the meeting.
If you're doing your taxes on the 14th, well, good on you. Right?
And if you have any questions about anything, our website, our ACCB website, and for anybody that doesn't know, it's Association for Charity for the Community of Boquete is what it basically stands for. And Linda or I'll answer any questions that you guys have. Yeah, and please, if you have time tomorrow, notify Linda or just show up even, because we can use the help.
At the country club.
At the country club from 11 to 2.
And bring, again, the non-perishable candy, children's clothing, plastic Easter eggs, just anything that you would, like you said, you would put in an Easter basket. In an Easter basket. Yeah, I can't wait till you post pictures of that.
And if some of you that are our age have already hidden your Easter eggs, I hope you can find them to bring them down and give them away.
Yeah, my version of hiding something is I'm going to put this in a place where I'll remember.
That's right.
Where I'll remember it is. It's funny because I secured a location 3 years ago for my wife's passport because I knew we were coming here, and it was about 6-8 months before we were coming here. So I just going to put this where it's going to go. Couldn't find it. Had to order a new passport. Now we're paying the extra money to have it expedited. Right? It shows up the next day. Guess what I found?
Your passport.
It was in my filing cabinet under P. How? How in the world?
Yeah. That's like I once had it when I was moving. I had a buddy of mine. They were helping us pack, and he and his wife were packing up the kitchen, and he pulled out this like a mug, a stein, and he goes, "Can I have this?" And I go, "Sure." And then about 5 minutes later, he goes, "No, really, can I have this?" And I said, "No, because you've asked twice now."
What's in it?
What's in it?
My passport.
$200.
Oh my God.
I had gone on a trip or something and told the kids I'm hiding money in here if you need it, and I forgot.
Yeah.
And this was about a year and a half, 2 years later.
Oh my gosh. Oh well, we're just about out of time. I want to throw in there real quick. Sunday at noon at the square at the plaza. Is the Boquete Community Jazz Band. It's their inaugural launch program. I will be the master of ceremonies.
Oh, cool, perfect.
So I'll be introducing the band and providing whatever distraction I can. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's free. Get there early, but there's going to be a tip jar. Throw some change there in the tip jar. That all goes to charity. Everything is 100% goes to charity. So that's on this Sunday.
And if you're Jewish, it's also BYOM.
bring your own
Matzah.
Matzah.
Yes, it'll be during Passover.
All right, well, I'd like to thank you, Marc Rosen from the ACCB. We appreciate you. I'm from Mort's Bakehouse. Get there 11 o'clock. Appreciate you having you on the show. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you next month at the last Friday of the month. You've been listening to Boquete Now, talk radio on Radio Cherokee 103.3 FM, sponsored by Big Daddy's Grill and the ACCB in Boquete. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week.